Welcome to My Safe Word is More with your hosts from Survivor and Amazing Race, Corinne Kaplan, stand-up comedian Al Jackson. I'm Chris, your producer, and this is My Safe Word is More.
Yeah, it is.
Hello, Al. Hello, Chris.
Hey,
Hi.
I love when we start the show, not only because we get to hear Chris's melodic voice, but just a little behind the scenes. Corinne starts a timer. She presses the button really hard, and when she gets it to start, she's so happy. She puts the remote behind her and then turns around with the biggest smile on your face, and it's on camera, and I will show people, but please continue.
It's the only technological thing I have
You're
to do.
so proud of yourself when you do it.
I get it right. Like 30% of the time, I don't get it right. So I wanted to talk a little bit. I'm going to open with a story. You're just going to have to bear with me with this. So my friend Ashley came to visit. Love her. It was awesome to have her in town. And when people come to visit that haven't visited before, I always take them to Grizzly Rose.
Yes, that is your spot.
Yes. Now, I will say this was it was a busy night at Grizzly, but I took her in the back lassoing room to learn how to lasso, and she's actually incredibly athletic, and I knew she would probably pick it up.
That sounds like every boyfriend's worst nightmare. Where were you? Oh, this cowboy took me in the back to the lassoing room.
Yeah.
Showed me how to do it.
So she lassos, and this is just to kick the story off. This isn't the main part of the story, but she's learning, she's practicing, but it's a crowded lasso room, which isn't always the case. So she's sort of backed up away from the wooden floor where the bull is running around to lasso. It's a mechanical thing. But she sort of was trying to practice away from everybody and ended up lassoing. The lasso hit an entire table of beers, and I had to buy 5 beers.
Are you serious?
Glass everywhere. It was the worst. I've been to Grizzly a million times, and I have never seen something more embarrassing. And they're not even that friendly. Everyone isn't that friendly, you know. And so it was a table of girls with their boyfriends and their beers, while they were lassoing, and boy, I had to stand in line and get 5 beers.
Because it seems like that could be a situation where they would have been laughing and be like, no, it's cool or whatever. Yeah, let's get around and we'll be friends. They were not cool with the...
No. They were get this fucking rookie out of here. It was such a faux pas.
I'm sorry, Tex. Fuck off. I don't know what I'm doing.
You should sort of know your space enough to know that you shouldn't be going this close enough to a table full of beer bottles.
She's in the lasso room. That's all you should be doing.
I feel like you shouldn't put your beer down. I feel like you should.
It was nice of you to buy them the beers.
I didn't have a choice.
And
I was okay, but that isn't the crux of the story. Okay, this is going to take me a second to set up. Many episodes ago, and if you are a new listener, I urge you to go back, listen to the old episodes. We have so much good content that is just sitting there. I met a guy, and I went on a date with him. You guys will remember as I start to unveil this. I went on a date with him. He told me that he was one of 11. At which point, I realized that I was already out with his brother.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Everyone remember? Okay.
Because of the names?
Yes, we're not going to say those.
I know.
They're
I
very
don't even
unique
know
names.
them, but yes.
But no, it wasn't that. It was when he said he was one of 11 and where he grew up, I was is your brother? So we're going to give them fake names. So we're going to say original guy is Steve. Other guy is Ralph. They actually have very cool names. Neither of those are their names. So, all right. So Steve's the one I went on the first date with. Ralph is the one that I went on the second date with. Now, when I went out with the second guy, obviously Ralph, I was in my head, shit, should I say something? I should say something. Because what am I going to do? If this works out, I get to the first family gathering and I have to be hey, Steve, remember when we made out? That's weird. So let me just get it out right now. And he was he goes, that's my older brother. And he has a lot of brothers, but he's close with this one. And he's yeah, you should have stuck with him. He's the one that has all the money. And I was oh.
Is his number still the same?
Yeah. So I am at Grizzly and I run into
Steve, the original.
The original. Yes, Steve. Thank you. I'm
the
getting
one
my
with
name.
money.
The one with money.
How do you
No, not the original. I run into the
Ralph.
Ralph.
How do you not know? You gave us these names.
Because I know their real names. It's confusing. Okay, so I run into him, and he's would you like to dance? And so I dance with him. And my friend Ashley's he's gorgeous, and he's clearly into you. I was look, not for nothing, but he never texted me after we aggressively made out like children in front of my home. And then I never texted him, and that was the end of it. And he's very good looking, and he's always at he's not necessarily like Grizzly, but he does a lot of country dancing shit, and he's in a band, and I'm sure he's getting tons of pussy. So I just like never thought about it again. And when I ran into him, she was like, he seems to really like you. And I was like, yeah, I think, the brother thing probably that's what we're all assuming, right? Like, obviously that was problematic, and that's fine.
Pornhub is like, would you like to check our stepsister statistics? People did
Okay.
not care.
So I say to him, I dance with him. And then I said to him, I was like, oh, so, did you ever tell Steve that we went on a date? And he's like, you know what? No, I never did.
And you just made it this big thing.
And well, I don't believe that. Do you believe that, Chris?
No, I wouldn't.
There's no fucking way.
Of course not.
There's no way. There's no way you didn't
You
tell
don't
him.
think
You'd
so?
tell your brother. I'd tell my brother. Oh my God, I went out with this girl and she went out with you. That's a story.
Yeah, that.
How do you
okay.
not bring that up?
When
I
you-
mean,
yes.
Let's be
okay.
fair. There's 11 or there's 12 altogether or something of them. So like, but this is the one he's like close with.
What's the age difference?
Oh, it's all over the place.
like between the two brothers. I didn't want the full family breakdown.
I think it's just a few years because they had a kid like every year. So I think it's like 39 and 37 or 36, something
Okay.
like that. So there's just, in my opinion, there was no way nothing was said. But that's what he told me. So I was like, all right, now here's why that's important. So, as you guys predicted, yes, I deleted Bumble. I did not delete Hinge because I was in conversation with somebody on there and I was not prepared. Like, I was like, ugh, I don't want to give him my number and I kind of want to meet him. So I like,
Wait, but you always want to give your number.
no, I don't.
Don't you want to get off the app quickly and let's meet?
No, I want to meet, but I don't give you my number until we meet because that way, if I don't like you, I just unmatch you and
Okay.
bye.
Okay.
So I just like wasn't prepared. So I kept
You're still on the apps, is what
one
we're saying.
one app,
So-
but I'm not active.
Shocking to me.
Not I knew you guys were gonna like that part.
Yeah, Chris, there's always these. I'm still on the apps, but not in the way that we did 2 podcasts about.
So okay. All right. So the next day, I get a like on there from the original brother who I haven't seen in 2 years.
The one with money.
Yes. It's easier for me to do that. The one with money.
Just say Steve.
He's Steve. And he's like, hey, he writes like, hey, how's your alpaca? Like something like that. And because we had gone on a date and then obviously I don't know, I unmatched him. And so I'm like, real coincidental that I saw the brother at Grizzly. And then the next day, this guy slides into my fucking Hinge. But I was like, you know what? If we're going to go full amnesia, who am I to tell him? If no one has told him, I don't have to tell him. So I was like, how are you? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, how was your Valentine's? I'm like, oh, it was good. I just had like a little singles awareness party at my house. And I said,
Did you send a hot picture of you and your quarter black man pic?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Anyways, I was like, yeah, we should get together. So because again, we know he is successful. I was like, I really want to go to this thing.
What field is he successful in without being
Tech.
specific? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, not for nothing, I am very successful. It's just the other brother is not. And so like, I mean, it's not even like close. So I am angling to get a hotel in the mountains. Yeah. And I am pretty close to closing that deal. And at this hotel, I will not be saying anything about the fact that I fully made out with your brother.
Which brother's hotter?
They're both equally hot.
Really? They're just an attractive
And
family.
They don't look related at all. They don't at all look alike. If I put you in a room with them and 50 other people, you would never guess they were related. They're tall, but they don't look at all similar. Different color hair, different color eyes, different color everything. And then I just was like, want to take me on a vacation?
On a not a date.
No, a full vacation. I want to go. I don't want to like blow up what it is.
I'd be like, you spelled chilies wrong.
No. I was like, I want to do this thing in the mountains. It's really expensive. There are like no hotels available. If you can get a hotel, I'd like to do that. And he was like, okay.
Okay.
Wow.
I know.
Huh.
It's really, that's why it was worth.
Bold.
Yeah, I mean,
At some point,
Yeah.
the brothers will find out.
I hope it'll
if
be.
they don't already know.
I know. If they really truly did not talk about this, it's going to be so fun. The first time he's like, oh my God, my brother's stopping by to drop something off. And I'm like, oh, Ralph?
It's a total sitcom plot.
It's so good. I couldn't not do it.
And is Ralph still interested? I'm assuming he is.
my friend Ashley was like, he is absolutely interested. And I was like, I don't know. He could have reached out. He didn't. And then she was like, did you reach out to him? I go, no. And she goes, but he was trying to hang out with you. And you were like, I did dance with him. He's very good looking. Trust me, he does fine.
You dance with him?
Yeah, he's
what year is this?
Well, that's what Grizzly, we two-stepped, yeah.
Okay. Is that code for something?
I have video of it. Maybe if you're lucky, I'll put that on the Instagram.
I can't remember the last time I danced with a girl. Like, would you like to dance with me?
It's like line dancing.
Yeah.
No. This is two-stepping.
Okay.
So like you're like under the
Twirling
town
me,
square.
and then
oh my
yeah.
God, that's so embarrassing.
Okay.
Oh
well,
my, we couldn't do this podcast if I saw you doing that. I'd be like, because you're my hero, and if I saw that, it'd just be like,
I mean, I'm
watching your hero get like dead in a hotel room. Like, oh,
I'm
I
not
remember when he was
terrible at it. Like, I'm pretty decent. Like,
I'm sure you're a good dancer. I just think dancing is embarrassing. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's so embarrassing.
I hear. If it wasn't this particular style of country dancing, I would also say that. Okay, well, because Chris,
that's why you can't dance when you're sober, because your body like has systems in place to keep you from embarrassing yourself.
Yeah,
and your body. That's why you can't dance when you've had 50 drinks. You're like, oh fuck it.
I mean, it's the same with karaokeing, right? Like somebody who pulls out a guitar on a date, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's so true.
But karaoke is fine. Okay, so we're gonna go to break, but when we come back, I have something that is completely off topic because I did not go through my stories with Chris ahead of this.
I love that I have no idea what you're going to talk about for like the first time.
Whole room is surprised.
Yeah.
But this is very interesting, and it's Survivor related, and you're not ready for it.
You've been warned.
All right, guys. So one of our lovely patrons sent this to me and was like, "Can you believe this is a thing, and that like you'd be so good at this?" This is what it is. Jeff Probst, who is the host of Survivor, is giving an interview about behind the scenes stuff they do on Survivor, like what the producers and stuff do when they're just bullshitting around and they're not, because they go in, Jeff's only there a small percentage of the time, but they also like rotate out the crew. Okay, so listen.
We do these little film festivals on Survivor. While we're on location, we in your spare time, you make a 3-minute movie, and then we have a film festival.
Really? Just a crew and all that.
Some talented guys make some fun little movies. Well, about 2 years ago, I had never heard of Ambien, and this film came out called Ambien Olympics. And they got like 12 guys on a day off, and they put them out on this piece of dirt, and they all took Ambien, and then they started doing these playing tennis and running around and jumping over things. It was the funniest film I'd ever seen. That's when I figured out
who could function the best
while trying not to fall asleep.
Right. Oh,
That's what we do on Survivor in our day.
Okay, so can you guys believe that there was something going on called Ambien Olympics while I was on the show? And here is the real inside baseball. I knew when I played the second time that I would be, because the first time I never slept. It was why, like Bob would always say he loved being in an alliance with me, because at any point throughout the night, in the middle of the night, he would just be like, "Corinne," and I'd be like, "Yeah, what do you need?" I was just up.
That's crazy.
I was Fight Clubbing the whole thing. I never slept for a minute.
Do you crash?
No. I had no sleep. I ran on adrenaline for 33 days. Well, when I was going on my second season, I was talking to, if you're a Survivor fan, I'm going to say this because I don't think she'll care, Edna Ma, who's actually an anesthesiologist by trade, but also was on bitch-ass Cochrane's first season. Edna and I were having dinner one night, and she goes, I think you could bring Ambien in. And I was like, now, mind you, just for a moment, understand how fucking stupid that would be, because now I'm on camera possibly acting completely crazy, and Ambien works best on an empty stomach. Now imagine you haven't eaten in days and you take it. You're going to be out of your tits and no one's going to understand what's going on. Did that stop me? No. So Edna's like, I have an idea. She goes, we have like a plastic like pressing machine. She goes, and the only thing I could clear were tampons. So I clear a box of tampons, but I take one tampon out. I unseal it very carefully. I unseal the whole box. I unseal one tampon, and then I shove. I put the Ambien in like a little bag you get from your button, like for an extra button on clothing. And I packed about 10 Ambien in there, and I rolled it really finely, and then I shoved it in the tampon. Then she helped me with this machine, reseal the tampon, the wrapper, and then we resealed the entire tampon box. The reason she had this, by the way, is she had a product. She was on Shark Tank with it. It was like a numbing agent for when you get waxed. And so she had all of the like ability to rewrap shit, right? Because she makes these like her own kits.
You're like just describing how to get drugs into a women's prison.
Probably. anyways, what I did was I was like, I'm not going to touch them until it comes down to individual immunity, because that's really when it matters. Like everything else, I can fight club, but when it's just me and I'm not on a team and I have to be good at the challenge, that's when I'm going to take them. I'm going to save them. I only have 10. It'll be for the final, 10 days. This is back when it was a 39-day season. So I'm like, once the merge is over, I'm breaking open this tampon. Okay? All right. So the very first...
Quite the turn of phrase.
Yeah. The very first night post-merge. So we merge, then the very first night, I'm like... So I take a fucking Ambien. And... I mean, nothing aired, so I'm assuming I didn't do anything stupid, but I felt great. I was ambo tripping my balls off, and then I slept. And I'm surprised no one noticed because I had never slept on this show. I had a glorious night of sleep. The next morning, I wake up, we do this fucking challenge. I end up getting blindsided. I go home.
Oh.
Yes.
Well rested.
And I...
Well rested.
And first of all, you should have seen me, because I'm like, Ambien for me is like gold, right? And so I'm like, I'm begging, I'm asking production, I'm like, the medicine chest with my if I could get those tampons, and they're like, we'll give you different tampons, it's fine. And I was like, no, but those tampons are specially sized, and they're like, what? We're not gonna go on set and get like your tampons. You'll get them back at the end, which I don't even think they would have returned them. But I am acting like, can't get these tampons, and they're like, they're just Playtex tampons. We've got them, at Ponderosa, which is where we go. And I'm like, because there were fucking 9 more Ambiens sitting in this goddamn button case in the tampons.
I hope nobody used that tampon and got really sleepy. Yeah, that is. Oh my God.
So, yeah, I mean, so to be clear, just because everyone doesn't know this, everyone has a medicine bag with a lock on it and your name on it. So I can't see, like, when I go to the medicine box, I pull out my bag, which had my tampons in it, and then I unlock it, because you don't want somebody fucking with your medical shit. Like, that's just not allowed. So no one could steal mine, and no one could see. It's not like it was a free-for-all and someone could have opened my tampon box and figured out what was going on. No one could get in there. It was locked with my name on it. So I am probably the only person in Survivor history to have taken at least one Ambien. And
I have questions.
Okay, please, go ahead.
If you would have gotten caught, would you have gotten kicked off?
No.
Is that like a total rule break?
I'm sure it is, but they wouldn't have kicked me off because they can't make sense of it. It's not an airable thing.
Really?
No, they don't. They wouldn't. They would confiscate them, but certainly not. No.
Have you ever heard of anyone else smuggling something in?
No. Well, yes, I know. My if memory serves, Ozzy sewed a match into the hemline of his shorts and then used it with the flint to start fire. But it was very tricky because they've got cameras on you. So I don't really know how he did that. But yeah, but no one's ever, I don't think anyone's fucking snuck drugs in but me.
Can you sneak Adderall in?
I mean, at this point, I don't, now maybe they'll check, but like I could have snuck anything I wanted into these resale, but I had the luxury. See, like it wasn't just the tampon itself, the entire box of tampons, I had her vacuum seal the whole thing because she had that machine. So no one would think it was tamper. It wouldn't occur to them to open each one and go through it. So I guess I could have taken whatever I wanted in.
Oh.
And I thought about if I was thinking that I would give Malcolm, he was my closest alliance member. If we got down to it where, shit was, I was going to maybe like offer it to him. I don't really know. I would have to like whisper it. I don't know.
Maybe that's a good way to stay on the show is just like become the discreet drug dealer. Like I got that white girl.
Or I fucking dose everyone else. And I'm like, everyone sucks at this challenge. Why can't they can't stay away from it? Everyone's narcoleptic all of a sudden. Wait, I guess I win.
You said you got blindsided. How'd you get blindsided?
Dawn, who was in my alliance, she was a Mormon mother of 6 adopted children. I trusted her with everything. She was freaking out and I wanted to make her feel better. So I told her that I didn't tell her all the way that we were going to flip, but I was like, don't worry, I got a plan. In case things don't work out, I got a plan. She figured it out, I guess, enough that she raised the alarm, and then my previous alliance blindsided me. It's kind of a long story and not that interesting. But yeah.
I wonder what became of that Ambien-laced tampon.
They gave it back to me.
Oh.
It was a long time before I got it back. I got it back like when we were in the airport at the end of the whole thing. They handed me the little locked bag and I was like,
wow.
Well, here's these fucking melted ass tampon infused Ambien.
I mean, you might stumble onto something for Shark Tank. I mean, it's like, look, ladies, you're on the go.
Yeah.
Look, people boof stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, look, that might work.
Yeah. Okay. So When we come back, what am I doing? Oh,
We're not talking about Boof and Ambien.
No, I have a good tie-in. I have Go Naked that is talking about jail.
Oh,
Wow.
your
good.
favorite subject.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
All right, so I was perusing the old Go Naked, and I saw something, and I thought, this is, you know how it's, we Schadenfreude, right? Like
Wait, tell everybody, new listeners, what Go Naked is.
You shouldn't be. Why are you not already here? Go Naked.
Way to welcome new listeners.
UX Naked is for women that live in Louisiana to just discuss whatever comes to mind, and there are hundreds of posts a day, and each one is more delicious than the next. And so this post I just thought really encapsulated A, what's going on in Louisiana, and B, it just makes me feel better about my own life. Okay? So here we go. This person writes in, I have to turn myself into jail tomorrow for something I didn't do. Can anyone wash and style my hair tonight or in the morning before I go? I have hand-tied extensions.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody know how to put razor blades into braids? Yeah.
So the information coming in from the comment section is as follows. Lacey says, if you are actually being booked and going to the back, you will have to wash your hair there and put the lice stuff in your hair, so don't bother doing anything before. Tabitha says, you can wear extensions, just not braids, depending on what parish, though I've done a lot of time and I've never had a problem with extensions. Lauren, they will take your hair ties at intake. You have to have a certain kind. Let me find it. Okay, these. And then she sends the Amazon, the specific hair ties you can have. Sarah.
Are they just for prison?
Well, no. Well,
Apparently
she's
they're
got
just
them on the Walmart
a kind
site.
that's allowed. in
They're
prison.
infinity bands.
Okay.
They don't have a plastic thingy on it. I think that's the difference.
Okay.
Sarah, I've turned myself in before. I did do it, but I had no idea what I was up against time-wise. Besides your hair, wear a wireless bra, a white undershirt, white underwear if possible, and take a long-sleeve white shirt if you can too.
Why all this white?
Well, we're going to tell you.
Yes.
Okay, anonymous member writes in, Sarah, yes, white everything, or you will be without panties unless you can afford to buy them there. I was miserable having to put my pad in the bottom of my jumpsuit. Or make friends with the girls who make tampons.
Make tampons.
Make tampons. There are girls in prison that make tampons, and now I need to go down an entire rabbit hole.
What do you think? Because I think I have a guess.
Got what?
I mean,
Toilet paper,
I
rolled tight.
cotton.
I was thinking duct tape and toilet paper.
You can't stick duct tape up your poussoir.
No, but I'm thinking as a panty liner.
Oh no, you can get panty liners. They give those out. They don't give tampons, which I don't know what. I guess tampons are more expensive.
Weird. Wonder why.
I don't know, but this.
I'm sure somebody used a tampon, probably for drugs, drug reasons.
Maybe.
Because if you see a string there, it's like it's either a tampon or Coke, and who's gonna go try figure that out?
I don't know, but I don't know if it was. I'm sure we were talking about it on here, but like I have been told that women's prisons stink.
Oh.
Stink. And I can understand that if they're putting pads in the bottom of their jumpsuits.
Oh.
I don't know how frequently the jumpsuit gets washed.
It's like, why are there all these seagulls? We're nowhere close to the water.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting.
It's really gross.
Apparently,
gross.
tampons are available at no cost in federal prison.
Oh.
This policy change was part of the First Step Act of 2018.
Well, should I write in to tell her? This is recent. This was
Maybe
like
it's not
yesterday.
federal.
That was called
prison.
the "your pussy is yanking" law.
Maybe it's not federal prison. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all these things where, especially when it comes to women, there are things that obviously women need for sanitary reasons, but also those things could very easily be circumnavigated to transport illegal drugs. So, like, how do you get around that? And we didn't really get to why white.
I don't know. I don't, it must be drug related with that too or something. I don't know why white. But I mean, good to know, by the way, because if let's just say my life is better, okay? Because if I posted to Facebook, I'm getting booked tomorrow, can anyone braid my hair? I would not have a single friend that was like, oh, don't worry. No, at intake, you got to do the lice thing. No, not one person I know would have anything to tell me.
Yeah. But on there's several people. It's like, here's this hairstyle if you plan to fight a bitch in the cafeteria the first day. You're going to want braids to go straight back so she can't grab it, of course. Like, she just was so matter of fact.
And like, I just picked a sampling. There were tons of people being like, I'm a bail bondsman. Like, there was all over the map, but everyone has advice.
Yeah. I like the one woman is like, I did it. I just didn't know I was going to do that much time. I thought I was going to get some credit for showing up like a real woman.
Right.
God dang. Again, it just, like I said, everybody thinks that they're like the three of us or Corinne going through life as a professional, having fun outside. But there are people that are like playing the video game of life on a different mode where the buildings are the same and all the things we know are the same. But their life is just like, while I'm at this light, I'm going to tell everybody that I'm going to volunteer to go to prison tomorrow and get their feedback. And she's like, and send. Yeah. And that is not strange to her at all. And that is what I think fascinates me.
It's crowdsourcing information. I have one more thing to share before we close out today. And it's just a really fun crackhead Craigslist that was sent to me ages ago that I've been sitting on. And it is titled, Need Black Woman for Fertility Ritual.
Okay.
Now, if I were to give you a guess of what they're needing, what this ritual is for, I don't think you would guess. And unless this is a different place, it says in parentheses Ventura. So I was thinking Ventura, California.
Right.
It's probably not what I tell you.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We're not having such a great fishing season. See, I don't think we have fishing in Ventura. What am I just, Ventura County, did we have fishing?
What's happening?
Right.
So we're not having such a great fishing season. So we've decided to bust out the esoteric big guns and perform an ancient ritual to bless our boat and turn our luck around. The ritual is as follows. A Black woman must urinate on our fishing net while praying for our prosperity. The prayer does not need to be audible. A simple intention will suffice. If the ritual is performed while the woman is menstruating, it will increase its effectiveness.
Oh.
I really have done a nice job tying in periods for the last 3 stories, right?
Oh.
I need some credit here.
Right.
Okay. Ideally, the ritual is performed at night under the moonlight. You will not be watched by anybody during the ritual. I believe that for not even 1 second.
Yes, except for the 4 guys jacking
Except for
on
the
the back
cameras
of
we
the
set up.
boat. That is so gross and such a lie. Continue. How will they know that she did it if they're not looking?
This ritual does not call on any dark or malicious spirits, so accidental possession is not to be worried about. Just making sure we don't have to worry about that. Compensation is, how much do you think they're willing to pay for this?
$100 flat.
Sadly, it's only $50.
Shut the what?
It's negotiable if you have experience in witchcraft.
Or menstruating. I'm a rookie witch, but listen, I bleed with the best of them. That is so disgusting.
But like, so it has to be a Black woman on her period.
And like, why a Black woman?
I don't know.
That is, I've never, now this is Louisiana, so maybe there's
this is Ventura.
California?
I don't know.
Ventura.
It says boat is located in Ventura Harbor. Do we have a harbor in Ventura?
Yes.
We do?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought Ventura was
There's a Ventura Harbor Comedy Club.
It's right on the ocean.
Wow. So this is California.
Yeah.
But there might be a Ventura, Louisiana. Isn't this a Go Naked?
No.
No.
Oh, this is just
Crackhead Craigslist. Different.
Oh, yes. Okay. So I'm going, okay. So, but then there's going to be a lot less Black women in Ventura, California.
I don't know enough about Craigslist, like if they service out to other areas.
This is just...
It's $50. Do you need the $50 or not?
And if you're really serious about this, serious enough to make this post, why wouldn't you make it enticing? Make it $200 because then you're going to get a Black witch that has the piss, definitely is on her period. Like she's going to be about her business. $50, piss prayer is going to be a $50 piss prayer.
Right, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Well, when I read this to Jay, my neighbor, who's also friends with my witch friend Bailey, he goes, "What if Bailey goes in blackface?"
She's
a real witch.
Canceled and make $50.
No one would notice.
Here's $50 to start my new life underground. By the way, it's weird. I was thinking about Jay randomly yesterday.
Yeah.
Because when I was at Erica's New Year's party, before I had to leave, because I had, I drank something I didn't know I had. And I was talking to Jay, one of the last conversations I remember, and he said he started listening to El DeBarge, which is a black R&B group in the early
Yeah.
80s. And they were really big in the black community. And he said he listened and he was like, I like this. And it made me think maybe there's a new business in like what's old is new again. And like we should like match up like old groups that you've never heard with people our age that are just like it's new to them.
I don't think that's a new thought you're having.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay. Is this when I'm walked out of Shark Tank? Okay. You know how some people have never heard of
Maybe we
songs?
could have a classic rock radio.
yeah.
But he wouldn't know they existed until he heard it. So I would listen. I'd be like, oh, Corinne, you like this? Have you heard about this band from the 80s? And I'd be like, no.
Do you remember when I was listening to, this is very quick, I was listening to Tiny Desk. I love Tiny Desk. And I heard the song Project Bitch by Juvenile, and I'd never heard it. And I was like, oh, this is a hit. Why doesn't anyone know this song? So I hit him. I was like, hey, rap guru, do you know what Project Bitch is? And he's like, yeah. Everyone knows that song. I don't know where I was in the clubs when this was going down, but I have been listening to it nonstop. Like, give me a project, bitch. Give me a hood rap, bitch. Someone's gonna.
Let me just.
I love that song. It's so good.
I was driving when Corinne texts me, do you know Project Bitch? And of course, I'm thinking this has to be a new song. I'm like, of course it's not Project from Cash Money.
My brother was like, what? Of course I know that
song is like 23 years old.
Well, I just found it.
Like legitimately.
me.
Chris, can you find out when Project Bitch came out? I'm going to say 2004. I'm going to, but like
I missed it entirely.
See, you're back to my Shark Tank
2000.
pitch. Okay, yes.
So it's 25 years old.
Yes, a quarter of a century. But she
found
was
it.
just like, have you heard this? Like it just dropped.
It's so good. Anyways, if you haven't listened to that song, might I suggest you give it a try? Chris, do you have any final thoughts for us?
I almost don't. I just spent 6 hours in the car in a blizzard driving a 2-hour drive from Vail to Denver, 6 hours in the most intense blizzard you've ever
It's
seen.
terrible.
It was
Because
I almost lost my mind.
I'm sure we talked about this. Sorry to cut you off, baby. On the podcast when Sar and I had to pull over because they closed the highway when we were going to see your mom. But it's a weird thing when you're driving in a blizzard and you can't see, and there are people in the car that you love that are just, and Sar, we laugh about it. Sar's just like, yeah, so should we go to spring training? And I'm like, we're going to die.
Yeah.
I couldn't see Chris, I grew up driving in Ohio.
And you're in the mountains, so you're on mountain road.
Dude, I couldn't see the ground. I couldn't see in front of me because the wind is blowing the snow like a curtain. And everybody in the car is like, so anyway, who do you like in the Super Bowl? And it's like, we're not going to have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
Dude, I know how it is. It's harrowing. It's like you got to decompress. Yeah.
We appreciate that you made it back for this episode.
Hell yeah. Just in time.
Missed it for the world.
Yes.
All that tampon talk. Come
on. Well, that's why Chris is here, and that's why y'all are here. Not because this is a podcast about life. That'd be ridiculous.
It's a podcast about ambient Olympics.
Yes. Gold medal.